It's going to show me on there where I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who am I? My name is Walter Epic, and I wear multiple.
Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to the MS Workouts YouTube channel. We went live last week for the first time, and we are back again this evening. So those of you that are joining us again for another evening, welcome back. Those of you that are new, please go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm here this evening with our producer, Mr. Felipe, and we're just going to give a couple minutes for people to join, to jump on. While we're waiting, please introduce yourself. I want to know who you are, where you're from, how long have you lived with multiple sclerosis? If you do, if you're suffering from some other type of disease or neurological disease, share that with us. What has the disease or that you're dealing with? What is it taken away from you? What are you actively working on in your goal? That's going to allow us to connect with you, and that's what this is really all about. Now, here in a minute, once we get rocking, we're going to talk about a handful of things, and then by popular demand, right, because of the ask last week, we're going to actually jump into some exercise this evening. So we're going to go over 4 exercises. We're going to go over a couple what we call fundamental movements, big compound movers, and then a couple movements that are a focus for foot drop, which is something that a lot of individuals on our channel deal with. So if you are able this evening and you are in the right state physically and mentally to exercise this evening, that's going to be coming down the way. So you can grab a cold bottle of water. You will need a chair. If you have an exercise band or a towel, you can grab that because we will be utilizing that here shortly, possibly. So do anybody joining us so far, Mr. Lerner?
Yeah, we have 40 individuals, 39 now watching us here.
Welcome.
Anthony Rafter says, hi, Jeff. We had Erica ask if the class, and if the Erica's wondering if the class is going to be recorded to watch later.
Erica, welcome, first and foremost. And yes, it will be. So that is something that you will be able to revisit and get after. So we want you to be able to utilize this. This is what the channel is all about. Meeting with you where you're currently at and allowing you to get to where you want to be in a very direct and real manner. We lean into it. So my mic is not on, is it? Can you all hear me very well?
They can. They can hear you okay.
So.
And we got a couple of more comments here. Donna says, Donna from New York, 21 years of MS. Mario
Welcome, Donna.
From Detroit, Michigan, RRMS, past 12 years. He's suffering from foot drop.
There you go. Relevant this evening, brother. So.
And then we have Kieran from Ireland, who has had MS since 2006.
Okay. What is the weather like there right now, Kieran? I'm curious. Here in Austin, Texas, it is, we're yo-yoing right now between cool weather and hot weather already. We don't have summer, we don't have spring here in Austin, Texas. We have freeze winter, and then we have hot. So, but I'm not complaining. No, I'm not complaining.
Let's rock and roll, Jeff.
All right, let's do this. So now we've given everybody enough time to get here. Welcome again to each and every one of you. Those of you that saw last week, it's really exciting news at MS Workouts. We launched our next gen, which is basically a regeneration of our website content. So we've had overwhelmingly positive response from members. And we wanted to share that with you all. We've been going on, YouTube with videos every Tuesday. We've had our shorts, and we've had some great interaction with you all. And because of that, we decided to start going live. So as I talked about last week, the next gen of MS Workouts has been released, and we introduced last week the coupon code, which is next gen. Okay, you can utilize it at msworkouts.com. That coupon code is going to give you, yes, I said it last week, I'll say it again, 100% no cost access for 2 full weeks to the entire MS Workouts platform. We have a fundamental body exercise class that is updated weekly. We have a seated and standing version. So, whether your functioning ability requires you to sit or not, you have access to it. You also, once you finish the fundamentals exercise, you roll into a focus on. So you can choose a set or a focused class that is based on whatever symptom you're currently focusing on, whether that's hip flexors, whether that's foot drop, whether that's weakness in your abdominals, your torso, your core. And there are stretch videos, we have stretch sessions, we have Jacqueline, who is one of our team members and steady pace trainers. She goes live every Monday with an exercise class. We have some other really cool things coming on the pipeline from an exercise class standpoint as well too. A closed Facebook group. We have Doc Talks with Dr. Lori Mayer. She comes on from time to time. So it's really a cool community because we offer a wide array of tools for you to use in order to gain back your mobility, your strength. So again, that's next gen. That coupon code not only gives you access to 2 full weeks of any of the subscriptions, okay, memberships, but it also allows you to have a 10% off any of the membership options indefinitely. So you get to keep that as long as you continue to be a member at MS Workout. So we talked about this last week. We showed a testimonial video. It's one thing for me to sit here and talk. Those of you that have been around the channel long enough, y'all know we have a lot of testimonials of individuals using the steady pace technique. Jump over to our website when we finish up tonight and watch that testimonial video. It's so super cool. And we feel so honored as a team to be able to assist the community that we do in developing the strength, because this stuff works. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, by popular demand, as y'all mentioned last week, we're gonna go ahead and jump into some exercise. So we're gonna do this evening is I'm going to execute 2 of our fundamental exercises, and then we're gonna jump into 2 of the focus-ons of a symptom-specific exercise for foot drop. So Mr. Lerner, who was the individual who said that he's suffering with foot drop? It was, what was the name again?
Here on the chat?
Yeah, earlier.
So we have a few. So Mario.
Other Mario, okay, Mario was the one that said so.
Mhm.
Mario, this is perfect for you, brother. I know you probably didn't realize we were jumping right into it like this, but we are. So leave a comment. If once we wrap here in a little while with the exercise, I'm going to jump on, and if you have questions, we can interact. I can answer them. And if we don't get to your question this evening, don't worry. We're going to jump on afterwards and hit the comment box and make sure we engage you. So without further ado, I'm going to adjust myself and let's get rolling. So as I mentioned in the MS Workouts platform portal, we have our fundamental classes, and those fundamental classes are designed to engage your entire body. We want to work your full body for multiple reasons. Metabolic, so faster metabolism, cardiovascular health, injury resistance, hormonal release, and functional ability from head to toe. It's super important. I know it's the fun thing and the encouraging thing to focus on the symptom-specific stuff, but it's important to make sure you're taking care of the rest of the body as well too. And exercise isn't really all that fun. Let's be real, okay? Let's be straight up here. But having a community to do it with in a very guided manner that you know is brief, intense, and gets you the results is a good way to go about it. So we're going to do those 2. We're going to do it from seated position. We're going to do a body weight squat, what we call steady pace body weight isometric set, okay, which is a static hold. We're going to then go into an armchair push-up, which is an upper body. So we'll have a lower body fundamental movement or exercise and then an upper body. And then we're going to jump into a couple foot drops, symptom-specific focuses. We're going to do an ankle eversion, okay, dynamic, what we call dynamic, which is concentric and eccentric range of motion. And then we're going to jump into an assisted dorsiflexion, okay? So 2 movements that are really, really helpful with that anterior side of that lower limb, which most of you realize that been on the channel and or have worked on foot drop. And anterior tibialis is an area that is typically affected not only from an atrophy standpoint, but literally from that common fibular nerve, right? So we want to engage the tissue that we have connectivity to, drive that neuromuscular connection, give your best effort, go forward. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. And if you aren't exercising this evening, no problem. As we mentioned earlier, you can always replay this. You can watch it. We have all kinds of other videos on the channel for you as well too. Please share this with your friends. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on the notifications because we're going to start going live, on a regular basis. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but we're looking forward to engaging you all and delivering the content that's going to make a difference for you. Okay. So The MS Workouts platform, on the platform, we have graphics and a clock and a timer and all the above to kind of help keep you oriented. This evening, I'm just going to do it on my phone here next to us. So really all you need to do is just listen to me, okay? Open your ears, your eyes, and give your very best effort. So let's start with that body weight squat. It's an isometric or metabolic technique set. We're seeking to fully exhaust your muscles. Notice I have a chair in front of me. You can also grab another chair. So notice I have one right here. And I suggest you do so. So grab like a walker, if you have one accessible, a chair, something else to keep in front of you. Because one of the biggest differences between exercise and movement is that you've got to challenge yourself in your exercise, okay? So you are more than likely going to start to lose your stability. We actually kind of want you to fully, not kind of, we want you to fully exhaust your muscles, okay? Now, that's relative to you, but we want you to be safe. Now, so we're going to go into that metabolic technique squat. So first things first, make sure your feet are about shoulder width apart. Make sure your ankle is directly below your knee. We're going to go to the standing position. So use the chair or walker if you need to. You're going to come back down. Okay, you're going to go as deep as you can. When I say deep, you're taking rear and down. Notice knees not going forward at all. Okay, take the rear and back. Hold on to that chair. Go down as deep as you can without losing stability. Okay, I'm going to start the clock now. Ideally, going down to 90 degrees is where we want to go and stay, because at 90 degrees, you engage the entirety of the quadricep. You're flaring your knees slightly, right, to protect the medial side and engage your abductors and your hips. Your thighs right now should already be burning. You should be squeezing those thighs, squeezing that rear, digging through your heels, back stays flat. Now, we're going no more than 90 seconds. And the goal is to reach momentary muscle failure, progressively challenge and overload the muscles. So if you get to the point where you have successfully done that and you can't hold anymore, don't fight this exercise by changing the form, okay? Just simply take your rear down to the seat knowing you successfully did it and notate the time, okay? I don't know if you guys can see that, gals can see that, probably not. We typically have graphics all the above. Now we're crossing the 50-second mark. 10 more seconds will take you into what we call the exhaust range. That's the final 30 seconds of the exercise. Notice my heart rate's starting to pick up. My quads are burning, my thighs are burning. That's your thighs, right? We're in the exhaust range, the final 30 seconds, right? Now we're seeking muscle failure. If this is an appropriate difficulty to give you the best results, you will reach muscle failure in these last 30 seconds. We're rounding the 115 mark, no more than 15 seconds here. Squeeze the thighs. Heart rate's kicking up. You notice that there's a really robust cardiovascular aspect when you're creating metabolic demand on the body. Okay, that's a whole nother live session that we can go over. 2 more seconds, cardiovascular health. 1 more second and disengage. Whew. Holy burn. Okay, so if you were able to complete the entirety of the exercise set, right? Pat yourself on the back, right? But know that it's time to increase the difficulty. Now, if you reached muscle failure, you got to the point where you couldn't continue, I want you to give yourself a huge round of applause and pat your back with 2 hands, because that's what's going to lead to the very best results. Now, we offer on the channel PDF progress journal. So I know this is a little late to the party right now. I should have told you this beforehand, but write down your results. Okay, you want to write down when you reach muscle failure, so that next time you have the path, you have the roadmap to tell you where your proficiencies currently lie, right? All right, let's keep it rolling. We're going to go into an armchair push-up now.
And Jeff, just to communicate to you, we have
Yes, sir.
50 individuals here joining you live today watching. So just wanted to let you know so you don't feel alone in the studio.
Good, right? Now I feel y'all's energy. So, and I felt the burn. I know there were a handful of you. Please post there. If you did not feel a burn doing that, please post it up there, because we need to download your form, right? I'm joking when I say that, because there's no way that you could have held yourself at 90 degrees actively engaging and not feel that burn. Now, but in all seriousness, if you're looking to increase the difficulty of this exercise, okay, you can make sure you're a little bit deeper next time, no deeper than 90, and then add a resistance. So you can, load your torso. You can hold a water jug, a dumbbell, something in tight to your body. The key here is to progressively challenge the body.
And Jeff, I'm sorry to interrupt you too, but Kim has a good question. How can she perform that squat from a wheelchair?
Kim, that's awesome. So really good question. As long as you have functioning ability to engage through your quads or glutes, stay in the wheelchair, lock the wheels, obviously, have a chair in front of you, and literally, if you need some assistance, literally lift yourself, as much as you can off the chair. Now, if you can't lift yourself off the chair, you can always execute what we call a glute squeeze, which is flare knees, same positioning that you would be in if you were in the squat. Push through your heels. You don't even have to get out of the chair at all, right? Squeeze your glutes, flare knees, and push your heels on the ground. The key here is to neurologically engage the targeted tissue, right? Get blood flow to that area. And that's going to give you what you want to exercise. So please let us know how that goes, Kim, and thank you for commenting and sharing. So we went through that lower body movement. Now we really want to try to keep these rest times down as much as possible. I do want to engage you this evening, but typically in the fundamental exercise classes, we're going to keep the rest times rolling. So now we're going to go to the upper body. And there's great value in going lower body, then upper body, then lower body, then upper body, because it forces your cardiovascular system to work in a peripheral nature. Shuttle it down, shuttle it up, right? All right, so the armchair push-up. Notice I don't have arms on my chair, and that's okay. You could be at a bench, on a couch, wherever right now. The key here is, as I was kind of mentioning to Kim a second ago, it's really about just actively engaging. So you may not even see that I come off the chair much, okay? And that's okay, right? We're going to take hands down. If you have arms, you can get more of an extension, okay? But the key here is to push through the heel of the hand, palm of the hand. We're targeting the triceps, back of the arms, anterior deltoid shoulder, and pectoralis major minor of your chest, okay? Abdominals indirectly. We're going to execute another isometric or metabolic set. So we go to the starting position, you actively flex and engage. I'm going to cue through form, encourage you, and we're going to give our best efforts for no more than 90 seconds, okay? When you reach muscle failure, you can't continue, you ease out, notate the time, and we'll go forward, okay? You should not feel any discomforts in your wrists, your shoulders, your elbows. If you feel something like that, go ahead and discontinue, right? I'll give you some cues during the exercise to kind of help, because I kind of foreshadow what you may be doing, right? But let's go ahead and rock it. Enough talk. Okay, we're going to go to armchair push-up. So those of you that are participating, you're ready to clock. So a steady pace, isometric armchair push-up. Fundamental move before you're up our body. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and start the clock. Clock is on. Now I'm going to wiggle myself forward a little bit, okay? Whew. You can extend your legs here. Again, maybe off camera, that's fine. Extend your legs if you need more difficulty. You want to be challenged right now, okay? If that is too challenging, bring your feet underneath you. You can simply push into that chair, slight tuck to the sternum, diaphragmatic breathing. So it's belly button towards the spine and breath out. Shoulders are dropped down. You don't want to have your elbows locked out, okay? You want a slight bend in the elbows because that allows the tricep to stay engaged and protect your joints. Again, you should not feel discomfort in your wrists right now. You should keep the pelvis slightly tucked. You shouldn't feel pressure in your low back. We're going past the 45-second mark. This is really, really good for upper body strength, lifting things above your head, lifting things up off the ground. We're getting ready to go past the 60-second mark. Make sure that you're pressing evenly through both of the hands. You're not shrugging your shoulders. Your shoulders are depressed and down. Sternum is tough. Feeling the abdominals engaged. Diaphragmatically breathing. Working shoulders, arms, chest. Now we're in that exhaust range. Final 30 seconds. For the MS workouts, you have the lights blinking and be letting you know you're in the exhaust range, right? The clock. We're going past the 115 mark. Heart rate should be rolling. Now I want you to actively think about squeezing your hands towards your hips. So it's one thing to statically engage, it's another thing to actively engage. Flex your targeted muscle, right? For 5 more seconds. 4, notice I'm shaking. For 3, 2, slowly disengage. Holy moly, I need to turn that fan on. I would be turning it on if Mr. Lerner would let me do so, but then he wouldn't be able to hear me very well. Point being, good time to interject. You want to keep the area cool. Most of you realize when you're living with some type of neurological disorder, the first thing to be impeded whenever you're overheating is your central nervous system. So one of the keys to think about in your exercise environment is to keep things cool. So turn your thermostat down, put a fan on you, because it's going to allow you to dissipate the heat that you're creating from this higher intensity exercise and allow you to continue to engage at a high level. So many times people just throw out and don't even think about the exercise environment, not realizing that it's detrimental to your results. Because if you're not engaging at a high level, then you're not going to be prompting the results in the recovery process that give you the best change. Now, in our fundamental exercise classes, we're going to typically go through about 5 to 7 of those big fundamental movers back to back, okay? So the heart rate's rolling and rocking, full body exercise, good oxygenated blood flow, cardiovascular kicking. And then after that, you get to choose from currently 11 different focuses, okay? Whether that's foot drop, hip flexor, abdominal, low back, upper body strength, knee stability. There's all kinds of different focuses based upon symptoms. So you're going to choose then, once you finish with your fundamental class, whatever focus you want to focus on. We recommend individuals choosing 1 or 2 focuses, although sometimes we have the desire to work on 3 or 4 or 5 different specific areas. Remember that the fundamentals exercise class is getting the entire body, and those focuses are really used to get a little bit more volume in the areas that you need most. And if you do too many and switch up your programming too often, you're not going to get enough volume and stimulus in this particular area to develop the best results. Sorry, Mr. Lerner, we got some questions here.
No apologies necessary. We have a good question from Monica. She's asking, how often should I do these exercises a day or a week?
Monica. So, hey, good question, Monica. Thank you for throwing that out. So exercise, okay, different than movements, right? Exercise, as I mentioned earlier, you're trying to fully exhaust yourself. You want the intensity as high as possible. And because that is the case, you do not want to do these frequently. You want to do them infrequently. And to take the answer one step further, typically 2 to 3 times a week is what is best. The higher the intensity, the more mechanical load you create. So the heavier resistance you're using, the more time you're going to need to recover from the stimulus. Greater response from the body, but the more time you need to recover. So typically our members exercise, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or the ones who engage really well with lots of resistance, Tuesday, Thursday. And then it doesn't mean sit on your rear end in between the exercise sessions. We encourage active rest and recovery, because increasing oxygenated blood flow to the body not only continues to drain stores of glucose, and it's good for metabolic health, but it actually helps the recovery process of that tissue at a much greater level. So not only the general health improvements, but literally the results that you gain become supercharged because the recovery process becomes that much better. And there are a handful of other things in the recovery process we can continue to talk on the road, like protein and sleep and stuff like that, but we'll save that for another time. So Monica, thank you for asking that question. Do not do this exercise every single day. More is not necessarily better when it comes to exercise. You want the intensity high enough to prompt change, and then the recovery process for your development. All right. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to pick 2 exercises from the focus on a foot drop, since this is what we talked about last week, and we publicized and let you all know that we would be doing that this evening. So I'm going to execute the ankle eversion as well as an assisted dorsiflexion. Again, both exercises are going to focus on the anterior tibialis, the lower portion of the lower limb, which is what helps you lift that toe, okay, in the walking gait itself. So the first one, the ankle eversion, we're going to execute what we call a dynamic technique set, which what we're looking to do, as you all know, is challenge the muscle, right? Reach momentary muscle failure. But we're trying to reach momentary muscle failure in the concentric muscle contraction, which is shortening the muscle, which I'm going to use my right foot, okay? And I'll talk about that here in a second. You do want to do both, okay? But I'm just picking right now. That's this movement out, okay? And we only have one camera this evening, so I know it's kind of hard, but our producer, Mr. Felipe Lerner, is an expert. And I don't mean that lightly. I know he's probably chuckling inside, but he is awesome. So thank you for your assistance tonight, my man. You're really appreciated. So just giving you an idea, right? Some of you may have executed this in a PT session time or two in the past. We're going to execute it and meet your body where it's at. I think one of the coolest things about our community in MS workouts is that, our members, even the subscribers, you all, I think y'all know, we want to meet you where you're at and understand that exercise should be relative to your current state. So many times when individuals are exercising, they get caught up on finishing it or being able to do this or do that, when in reality, our suggestion, and it's based upon science and results, is you should not focus on those things. You should focus on giving your best effort and challenging yourself. So give yourself grace tonight or any other time whenever you exercise to just give your best effort. I know sometimes it's really hard to see if you've lost function in a particular area. And sometimes it's hard to acknowledge that you have, right? But at the end of the day, we're here to help you. We're here to say that it's okay, no matter what current state you're at. If there's still neurological connectivity to the area, we need to exercise, okay? So with that being said, this exercise may be easy for some of you, and it may be really, really hard for some of you. We're going to get a baseline tonight. You're going to record what your outcome is, and then you're going to increase the difficulty next time if you finish. Okay? So ankle eversion, dynamic in nature, no more than 60 to 90 seconds, which is going to equate to about 4 to 6 efforts. So now, weights through the heel the entire time. Ideally, no pressure through the ball of the foot, okay? You may not be able to lift your toe up off the ground, and that's okay if you can't, okay? We're going to start in the fully contracted or externally rotated position. You're going to initiate movement in slowly for 7. 6, we're going at a 7-second tempo, because at 7 seconds with a half-second pause, and then 7 seconds back out, will give us 4 to 6 efforts in 60 to 90 seconds. There are science behind it. Now you're squeezing as you externally rotate. Don't let the knee rotate out though, heading back. And you may not be able to externally rotate as far as I'm externally rotating. That's okay, all right? Do not worry about it. Just give your best effort. Heading back out. The goal is muscle failure. So be tuned in right now. You want to acknowledge and pinpoint the moment during this exercise set where you can no longer continue going the entire range that you were at the beginning. It may not be the full range. If you're going to halfway, okay, when you can't go halfway anymore on this movement, take the time, okay? We want to be measured. That is a piece that people leave out of exercise all the time. That is crucial, right? We're not just doing it to do it, we're doing it for results. All right, we're going past the 60-second mark, fourth effort. Give yourself a pat on the back if you're with us, right? Or even just watching, learning this evening, okay? You're here, you're putting forth positive effort towards your results and goals. Last 30 seconds, no matter what, you're in what we call the exhaust range, right? Confetti's falling if we're getting close. If you've already reached muscle failure successfully, congratulations to you. If not, keep working. If you can lift the toe up, try to do so, right? Engage this anterior tibialis, get blood flow to the area. Let's go one more opportunity to reach muscle failure. Last 15 seconds, no matter what. Active engage. Don't rotate your knee out. Stay to the heel, breathing freely and slowly disengaging and relax. Woo, deep burn in the anterior tibialis during that movement. So, as I mentioned, if you reached muscle failure, you got to the point where you could no longer continue to externally rotate all the way. Congrats, you did it. You sent the stimulus you needed. If you finished the entirety of those 90 seconds or 130 with me, write that down as well. It's time to increase the difficulty of the exercise next time you do it. And the way that you'll do that, in any exercise, what you're looking for is what's called a line of resistance, okay? So what you want to do is you want to create a line of resistance at the angle in which the movement is going, okay? Because that's going to load the tissue that's taking you through that range of motion, which means it creates metabolic demand and challenge. So on this particular exercise, the line of resistance, you need to take an exercise band, you need to anchor it off to this direction, since the ankle eversion is going that way, okay? Anchor it off, wrap it around the foot, and then go this way, right? Okay, that's ankle eversion, okay, this way. So anchor it off this direction, okay, that way, and go that way. Excuse me. All right, now, one of the most rewarding exercises that we execute is, I think anyway, is the assisted dorsiflexion, okay? So as I mentioned earlier, this is in the foot drop focus that we have. And in the MS Workouts portal, as a member, you have actually access to an entire foot drop challenge. Some of you may have taken it a couple years ago when we released it. Members have access to it indefinitely. But that foot drop challenge is a 12-week focus. And every single week we have learning lessons. We have Dr. Gordon Mayer. We have PT Tina Warren on there. We talk about assisted advice and IC sessions. We go through exercise. But this exercise seems to be one that really, really robustly improves individual strength, mobility, and functional ability, no matter where you're currently at, okay? So we're going to actually, we call it eccentric and assisted dorsiflexion. So I asked you to give a towel or a band earlier this evening. This is going to help you assist to the starting position. So we execute what we call eccentric, okay, which are negatives, right? Okay, some of you that know the lingo of exercise, strength training. It's basically the lengthening of the targeted muscle. All muscles shorten and lengthen. The lengthening phase of muscle contraction, you're much stronger in. But there's great value in loading it, okay? And the eccentric phase of this dorsiflexion is the lowering, okay, of that toe and that foot. Now, some of you may be sitting there going, okay, it makes sense now. That slap, right? You do deal with foot drop. When you pick that leg up and you come forward, that foot slaps down, right? That's literally dorsiflexion. That foot goes down. And the inability to slow that foot down is the weakness in that anterior tibialis. So we're actually going to exercise right now and hit a set that facilitates the engagement of that area. So take your towel, take your band underneath, okay, and we're going to put it underneath the forefoot by the ball of the foot. You're seated in the chair, ankle underneath the knee. You're going to assist the foot to the fully flexed position. Make sure toe is in line with the knee. You're going to hold for 2 seconds. Then we're going to lower for 10. So you're going to lift. You're going to slowly start to give the weight of your foot back to your anterior tibialis. If you can release the band completely and keep the foot up, then you're going to use the resistance of your foot, and then we're going to slowly lower. If as you're giving the resistance to your anterior tibialis, you're giving your foot back to the anterior tibialis, right? And you can't hold that foot up, still use your hands, okay? A little bit. Use just as much as you need. And then when we start the actual movement of the exercise, you want to decelerate. Go as slow as you can with that foot as it goes down, and you challenge it all the way down to 4. We will then disengage and then reset. We're going up to 4 to 6 efforts on this exercise. At 2-second hold, 10-second lowering, 1 second relax, 2-second hold. That's 15 seconds. It's going to give us 4, 5, or 6 efforts in 60 to 90 seconds. The goal is still to reach muscle failure. Again, you may not reach muscle failure tonight with just your body weight. Okay, if you don't, we'll talk about ways to increase the difficulty. If you do, awesome. I'm super proud of you. That is the goal, because that's going to prompt the best change. Okay. All right, let's rock and roll. Now, muscle failure on these eccentrics is the point where you can't go 10 seconds or slower, right? We're just being very literal in our measurements, right? So if it's 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, notate that. That is muscle failure successfully done, right? Okay. All right, here we go. So we're going to go to the starting position, lift it up as much as you can. We're going to start the clock. We're going to slowly give the weight back, and we're going to lower for 10. Nice and smooth. 9, 8, 7, breathing. 6, 5, slow there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax for 1. Bring it all the way up. Slowly give it back. We're 2. At the top, try to bring the toe to the shin. Okay. Now slowly lower. Should start to feel a burn. Going past the 30-second mark. Again, muscle failure is the goal. I'm going to challenge the muscle. And that will be when you can no longer go 10 seconds or slower. Relax the bottom for 2 seconds. 1, bring it up. Notice my knees over my toes, slowly giving the weight back. Notice my foot is flat, heading in the direction. It's not ruled in an inverted or eversion type position. Just give your very best effort, knowing that this is going to prompt positive change in your lower limb. Relaxing completely, heading up. Flex, give it back. 2 seconds, holding. 1 second. Now 10 seconds or slower. We're going past the 60-second mark. You're breathing freely. Notice I'm leaned forward. If you're finding difficulty in leaning forward, your low back is bothering you, get a longer band or a longer towel. Okay. Relax the bottom. 2. We're in the exhaust range. Lift it back up, holding for 2 seconds. 1 second. Now, as slow as you can with the descent. You should be challenging the body here. The slower you go, the more you make the muscle exercise. That's how you get to go slow, right? Because your muscle's working. Relax for 2 seconds. 1 second, all the way back up. Final opportunity, weights back. If you haven't fully exhausted yet, I want you to reach down, put a little pressure on the top of your toe. Ooh, you feel that engagement heighten? Now resist it all the way down as slow as you can. Breathing freely, challenge the body, going slow, making the muscle work. 2, 1, and relax. Holy moly. I've got a sweat going on here, right? 4 exercises in the chair. Now, if you successfully reach muscle failure, again, pat yourself on the back, notating you did it, right? Great job. If you didn't, increase the difficulty next time. Write down the results that you didn't fully exhaust. Now, you need to execute this on the left side as well, too, okay? So follow up, execute on the left side. Also, a way to increase the difficulty in this exercise, you saw me, I demoed for you on the last effort. You can either put pressure, okay, on the top. I don't really recommend that, though, and you know why? Some of you may already be thinking this. It's hard to measure that, right? So it's hard to tell how much you're actually pushing. So I suggest getting like a sandbag or a dumbbell or something that you know the weight of. Get some books. If you have a scale at the house, weigh the books. Know how much the books weigh, and then put it on there. The most important thing is that you're being measured in the process and you're being challenging, okay? Because life is undulating. The disease is undulating, right? It comes, it goes. Sometimes it's hard to explain. There's so many variables that are affecting you. the most important thing is that when you show up and it is time to exercise, whatever you choose that to be during the week, just give your best effort. Meet your body where it's at and give your best effort. Sometimes we're going to feel like a roadie, beat up, worn out, right? The person who throws around the equipment when bands are going from place, city to city, worn out, right? Sometimes you're going to feel like the rock star. You feel amazing. Don't worry about any of that. The most important thing is your action, then measure, then adjust and reapply. So your path will lead to results.
Jeff,
So,
a couple questions here for you.
yes, let's jump into some questions.
And if you want as well, Jeff, I can talk about the special discount and give them a quick tour of the Focus On, go through that
Yeah,
process.
let's do
I
that.
think I've been able to figure that out here on the camera.
Yeah.
Think so. I may do it and we'll just completely shut
Y'all
up.
give us feedback.
Exactly.
We're jumping around too much. Let us know. So,
Let's see.
as Mr. Lawrence,
Okay,
this is
so-
a bit of a preview here of
Yeah, and we're getting some good comments here. So Mario says those are some badass shoes.
rock and roll, Mario. Thanks, brother. Yeah, some Adidas, man. So kind of some old school B-ball Adidas. Man. So yeah, thanks, brother.
YH says thank you so much for this.
Our pleasure, YH. Thanks for joining us.
RS asks, does this also help when the foot cramps up?
RS, lots of things cause cramping of the muscle, and it's hard to really nail down what is causing the cramping, but there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sometimes cramping can be caused from atrophy and weakness in the muscle being challenged. So by facilitating neuromuscular engagement, getting blood through the area, getting that actin and myosin, that tissue lengthening and shortening, you're going to give yourself the very best opportunity to be as strong as possible. And a lot of times the hamstrings and the anterior tibialis are a little underdeveloped for most individuals, whether you're living with multiple sclerosis or not. So a lot of times when you first start exercising, those muscles will cramp. So that is something that's common. Take what you can. It shouldn't last for extended periods of time. Cramps, lengthen the muscle, jump back in. Really good question, Rice, and welcome this evening. Thanks for attending, showing up.
Awesome. And
Doing
Robert
it with us.
Page actually has a comment for me, which I think is really good feedback. So Robert, with all due respect, your typing is coming through the audio guy here. Just wanted to give you a heads up.
Thanks,
So-
Robert.
I appreciate that, Robert. I didn't know that you could hear the typing. I am a notoriously loud typer. I think I drive my fiance insane with my typing. So I will try to type a little quieter. And next time we'll make sure that Jeff's audio is closer to him so y'all can't hear that typing. But at the same time, I can still answer your questions while he's going live. So thank you for that, Robert. I really appreciate it. And awesome name, by the way, Robert Page. Yes.
I was gonna say, hey,
Yeah. And then, okay, so Monica, she's asking, Monica,
Yes, ma'am.
do ankle weights benefit during these exercises along with the bands?
So good question, Monica. So I think the way to answer this question is to think about what ankle weights, what bands, what they're used for, right? They're a tool to add resistance to the line of resistance that's appropriate to create the appropriate challenge, right? So you can use ankle weights, you can use bands, you can use dumbbells. It's all just a tool to add resistance or weight challenge to the muscle tissue. I think the most important thing to think about when it comes to ankle weights is that if you have an ankle weight on and you're executing an ankle eversion, right? The ankle weight is really, I don't know if we can get the camera down there. I know we don't want to move a whole lot, but if you have an ankle weight right here, that ankle weight, Monica, is pulling straight down, right? So really, an ankle weight would be best for like a knee lift exercise. So if you can pan up, Felipe. So an ankle weight would be great for like a knee raise exercise because it's creating resistance straight down, okay? Which is then going to target the hip flexor, okay? So if you have an ankle weight on your ankle and you're doing eversion, remember the line of resistance is this way. So that's not really adding any type of difficulty there. And actually, if you have an ankle weight on, it's not actually adding any resistance into your anterior tibialis either, okay? Because remember what the anterior tibialis is doing is it's lifting the toe, the foot. So I would take that ankle weight off, Monica, and lay it over the top of your toe. And that's going to deliberately, as soon as you do that, Monica, you're gonna go, oh, okay, I feel it now, right in the anterior tibialis. And that's why it's, super important. I always say either know the process or know someone who does. And that's what we're here for. Because it's those little things like that that you may not realize. Someone goes, oh yeah, use an ankle weight for your eversion. They mean well, but they may not realize that, okay, well, you're not really even loading your anterior tibials when you do that. So Monica, thank you for asking that question, because I know you're not the only one that had it. So
Awesome. And just a few more questions, Jeff, before we wrap up the live Q&A today. Donna, is it unusual that my left foot tries to imitate my right foot?
My left foot tries to imitate my right foot. So first and foremost, hello, Donna, and welcome. I hope you're doing great. Left foot tries to imitate right foot. So can we get a little bit more clarity in that? So what do you mean by it tries to imitate your right foot? Is your left side the one that is more impeded, weaker, and what is it trying to imitate? So my apologies, but a little bit more clarity in regards to what the question would be.
And while we're waiting for Donna to give a response back, and by the way, Monica says makes perfect sense. Thanks for the breakdown. Love this.
Monica, that's what we're here for.
And so let's see here. I found one. Yes, Norma Jean Rios. Can an ALS? Norma, oh, you're good. You're getting hot, huh? Where's the AC? We need to turn it down.
Norma Jean, how are you doing this evening?
Norma Jean asks, can an ALS person with double foot drop do these?
So really good question, Norma Jean. So I think the general rule is, as I kind of mentioned earlier, if you have ALS, I would say no. I would ask your physician to be candid with you. The general rule from an exercise standpoint is if you have neurological connectivity to the area, and you can engage the muscle, and it's beneficial for you to stress, to overload, to tax the area, then yes, you can, right? But dealing with ALS, and really and truly any type of disease, make sure that you visit with your practitioner first about exercise and how exercise affects your specific disease and your particular engagement with that disease. So I love the fact that you have the desire to put forth the effort, but I would suggest visiting with your doctor first. One of the things in MS Workouts we are really, really adamant about is using the toolbox of professionals that you have around you. And if you don't, then we'll help. We'll go out of our way. I mean, we genuinely as a team want to make sure people are getting what they need, and having a physician who is specializes in whatever disease you're dealing with. Most individuals on our channel is multiple sclerosis, but whether it's ALS, Parkinson's, whatever it may be, find a practitioner that knows the disease, a doctor, and engage them. They can get a baseline, they can give you information. Sometimes I think there's a fear around, well, maybe I'm not going to like what they tell me, maybe I won't resonate with that person. Well, I'd like to remind you that there are more than one doctors and physicians in the world. So if you don't like one, go to another one, right? There's nothing that says you have to pick one and it's not like marriage. You don't have to pick one and stay with one, right? So, and with telehealth and, the connectivity, I mean, we're across the world right now. The technology now is so cool. So I really encourage you to find a primary practitioner, find a PT, go see a PT, go see an OT, do it at least annually or biannually, because then you can get a baseline and they can give you direct feedback that's going to help dial you in. And more than likely, exercise is going to be a part of that treatment plan. And we're more than happy to help you with that aspect, because you don't have to leave your house, right? You can just jump on YouTube, or you can go to msworkouts.com and log in, or go to our closed Facebook group once you're a member, and engage us. So great question, Donna, and bless you. I hope everything goes well.
Perfect. And the last question for today.
Let's do it.
Bill DeVore.
Bill, what's up, man?
Foot drop for 10 years on the right foot.
Okay.
Virtually no voluntary lift in the toes or foot.
Okay.
Is there a point of no return?
It's a good question. And to be candid with you, it kind of depends on what disease you have. It depends on what the progression is. But again, at the end of the day, the way we choose to look at things, Bill, is, if you can feel a wiggle, right? If there's any connectivity whatsoever, there's value in engaging it, right? So I know there are also assistive devices out there that allow you to from a neurological standpoint, like stim and stuff like that, facilitate active engagement of the tissue. I'm a firm believer in continuing to swing, man. So, if there's any movement whatsoever, you're getting benefit. If it's not paralyzed and there's not, a direct cutoff between the two.
Yeah, he says he's dealing with MS.
Yeah, so
Specifically.
as long as there's engagement there, brother, swing away, man. You're going to fire the neurons in the area, right? Even if it's impeded, you're going to drive blood flow to the area. The body's a very powerful thing, and at the end of the day, take what you can. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways. I think helps the most with individuals is understanding, making that shift in your mind and your perspective that exercise isn't about being able to do something or perform or do anything in particular. Exercise is about meeting your body where it's currently at, giving your very best effort to challenge the area in a safe, right, measured and progressive manner, and then go forward. Forget about it, right? Focus on the recovery process. Hopefully we're blessed for another day. You wake up and you focus on the next step, right, which is active recovery, whether that be yoga, whether it's walking, a recreational activity you enjoy to get blood flow back to the air, adequate protein levels, sleep, to allow your body the time to develop, right, strength, and then go back to it. And then, as we say, measure, Bill, because the really cool thing, man, is that we have tons of people. Okay, we're talking about one this week at our live Q&A. We have a live Q&A every single Tuesday with our MS Workouts members. It lasts an hour, and we engage, we talk. We have members all the time. Who was it this last week who started the foot drop challenge, Felipe? And she had not moved her foot in months. And she, after 2 days of the foot drop challenge, on her own, involuntarily, she was able to pick her foot up and was moving again. Who was it?
Patricia?
Was it Patricia? Yeah. So anyhow, Bill, we can't promise anything and we don't, right? Only thing we're going to promise is that we're going to be there for you. We're going to encourage you, assist you, give you scientifically based stuff that works, and encourage you along the way, brother. So prayers to you and yours, man. And take that right foot and work it, brother. Do these exercises, right? Use the free ones we have. Take advantage of the coupon code, okay? I'm not selling this here. I want you to do this. It's free. Go try it, okay? And then post. Let me know how it goes. Because at the end of the day, we feel we have a responsibility, right? We have this background, know this information, and we saw that it worked. So, 2017, 18, right? We started applying this, and it was like, holy cow, this is really powerful, and from that point forward, it was like, we need to make sure we are there and positively educate, impact, encourage individuals so that, you really can. You can start where you are and end up where you want to be. So, well, thank each and every one of you for joining this evening. I always hate to cut it short. Those of you that have been around the channel enough or are part of our MS workouts, it's a joke, but I love to talk. It is long-winded. I love to engage. I love to go down rabbit holes. I could sit here all night long, do exercise with y'all, but I'll save that for another time. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. Hit the like button, hit a comment. Thank you, Mr. Felipe, for helping out this evening. Say it again.
Yeah, let me go in there and show them a little bit of the.
Yes, before we jump off, let's go ahead and let Mr. Lerner show you a little bit of the actual website, because some of you have been asking to see that, and then we'll wrap the evening. So
let's try this out.
Let's do it.
Okay, awesome. Hey, everybody. I know my camera's not as fancy as Jeff's is, but I'm really happy to be here live with y'all. What I just want to take just a few moments to do today while everybody is live is to give you a little background, or not a background, a little tour of MS Workouts, what it is, right? What the membership platform actually, provides you with. That way, when Jeff is talking about it, you can, have a much better reference to it. So real briefly, right, we'll just have this be about 2 minutes. This is the membership portal. Right? This is everything that our members get access to. This is how they gain their results. We break it down very easily. Step 1, you're going to choose one of the following 4 fundamental classes. Our most popular is the seated fundamentals class, because you can get your entire body strengthened from a chair, right? So a lot of our members love that option. After you've done this class, you're going to immediately jump into your focus, right? We have focus on foot drop, which, right, as Jeff just demonstrated today, is one of our most popular, most common symptoms that our members come to us to address. Hip flexors, right? If you have issues picking up your legs, going up the stairs, that's another big symptom that our members are focusing on. Knee strength. We have 11 other symptoms as well here for you to try. And of course, there's a lot of extra bonuses as well. You have, active rest activities. So while you're not strength training, you can do yoga, stretching for your symptoms. We have additional support. As Jeff mentioned, that live Q&A. You can now book a personal trainer at MS Workouts, even like literally a one-on-one Zoom session between you and a trainer who can tell you, hey, your hand right now isn't, in the right position, adjust it. I mean, it's just an incredible new program that we're offering. So with all that being said, there is a special offer until April 5th. Jeff mentioned that a little bit earlier in the presentation, but I just wanted to kind of recap that. So until April 5th, any of our membership plans are coming with a 2-week free trial. We've never done this before. The reason we're doing this is because we just updated MS Workouts to next gen. And that's what y'all saw right through the demonstration. So any membership plan you join today, you're getting 2 weeks on us for free. Okay. If you don't experience improvements in symptoms, you don't see your energy levels improve, you don't notice strength gains, you can cancel and there won't be a charge to your card, right? Cancel before the 2-week trial is over and you won't be charged. This is literally, you can try this free for 2 weeks. Now, after the 2-week trial is over and you're like, you know what, this is where I need to be. I love this community. I love these exercises. I love the amount of control I have over my symptoms. After that trial is over, you get a 10% off coupon, right? Off any membership. And we're going to send you the starter kit. So Jeff, that yellow band right there.
Oh, my fault.
So as y'all, I don't know if y'all can see here, but this is the starter CLX TheraBand. We're going to send this to you after your 2-week free trial is over at no cost. So again, go to msworkouts.com to learn more information, to join a membership plan, and to get started, because we are super passionate about helping y'all feel confident in doing the things that you love to do. Before we wrap up, I'm just going to pass it back off to Jeff. That way he can say goodbye to everybody. Again, my name is Felipe. You can reach out to me anytime at team@msworkouts.com. That's team@msworkouts.com. I'm the member support specialist at MS Workouts, so it's my absolute passion to make sure that your questions are answered, you know what you're getting, right? If you have any issues along the way, I can help you through them. So that's really my passion here. So thank you all so much for, hanging out with me for a few minutes here, and I'm going to pass it over to Jeff so he can conclude the meeting.
Mr. Felipe, thank you so very much. And thank you to each and every one of you who have made this channel so awesome. We recently passed 40,000 followers, subscribers, and it's continuing to climb. And the reason that we've done that is because of each and every one of you. You've allowed us into your heart, your homes, and allowed us to share our steady pace technique and exercise with you. So thank you to each and every one of you. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the like button, click on the notification, share us with your friends, because I want to help. We want to help Mr. Lerner, the MS Workouts team, Ms. Jacqueline, Mr. Coelho, Dina, all the individuals, Mr. Colton, Ms. Holly, all the individuals at msworkouts.com want to help. So thanks for joining us. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you next Tuesday. Remember, we drop videos every single Tuesday with new exercises that you can partake in. And then let us know, right? I know some of you have already dropped some comments. We'll jump on there and answer them. But if there's something that you want to see, something that you're struggling with, let us help you with it. So let us know so that we can provide it. Everyone have a magnificent morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, make sure you give your very best effort. Don't fret the rest.